Welcome to the JP8 report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 report, episode 432. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Well, if you've been living under a rock and you didn't watch any TV last night or the radio this morning and you're just listening to me, the U.S. lost yesterday 4-1 against Belgium, and now they're going to watch the rest of the World Cup. They really didn't show up to play, but at least they were there, all right? More I can say about it. I used to coach soccer. Soccer's fun to a point. I love baseball better. But they tried 4 years, but it shows promise on how well the American soccer program is progressing because they were ranked number 17 in the world, and when they lost yesterday, they were in the top 16. So they were playing above their means, which is good. So Belgium was ranked number 9 in the world. People forget about that aspect of it. They're expecting like miracle on ice with the U.S. men's hockey team in 1980. It doesn't work like that sometimes, but at least they tried, and it was fun while it lasted. All right. Well, welcome to the JP8 report. If you're a first-time viewer or want to go ahead and click that follow button to follow the JP8 report, to get to it, you click on there's a bell right beside where it says the JP8 report. Click that bell and scroll down, and you'll see the word follow. Click that button. That's how you get to be on the JP8 report. That's how you follow any podcast that's on Rumble also, right? And after that, give me a like, a thumbs up, green light for the post today. And then we have the live chat, which is really cool. It's temporary, so at the end of the podcast, it goes away. And then I also put a question on the comment section if you're interested in answering what are your thoughts toward Plattner. Like I put on there, and I'm going to say it in a little bit, the lady should have went to the police first, filed charges on him, and then went to the press. But there's no charges filed against him. So basically, he's getting away with rape if he did it. And he's going to be out of a political race. So, what's the goal? To get him out of the political race or to bring justice to him, right? Shaming him in front of the whole world is not bringing justice to him. Being behind bars is bringing justice to him, all right? So that's my thought on that one right now. So let's see. We did the welcome, follow, like, chat, and everything else. And then America 250. On this day, July 7th, 1776, General Washington continued to prepare for the Battle of New York City, and he was unaware of the massive British fleet stationed offshore of Staten Island. It's going to happen like really soon. What's today's date? The 7th of July. I believe the 17th of July is when they started fighting, I think. We'll be getting to it. Don't worry about it, okay? So that's what was happening and there's movement of British troops toward Charleston also, because British fleet landed in North Carolina, and Cape Fear. All right. So that is there. Next is the armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper's Code's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes both online and in person. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text at 254-560-2023 or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. All right, welcome back. Here we go. We got that done. We have the rain update. We'll do our rain update first. So hopefully I don't forget. Massive crowds have been seen at the Ayatollah Khomeini's funeral in Tehran. His funeral lasts for 2 more days through the 9th. There were huge crowds of people vowing revenge on his death on February 28th. He didn't find his 72 versions, so sorry about that. They're vowing revenge on his death. And his son, the new spiritual leader, Mojtaba Khomeini, is still been a no-show at the funeral itself. Iran fired 2 missiles into the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, and one of them impacted a cargo ship. Oil prices are still a bit lower. They're still around what they were before the war started. Hardliners are chanting death to the compromiser. That's in regards to the Iranian president that signed off on the memorandum of understanding. Hamas dissolved the Gaza government yesterday and turned everything over to the United Nations. Israel is fortifying the Jordanian border against further Iranian aggression in the future. Trump, he's to meet with the Syrian president in the next few days. And then former president, current terrorist, former, Iranian embassy insurgent, whatever you want to call him, that took the hostages back in 1979, Ahmadinejad. He was spotted at the funeral. He's been out of sight for months, right? But they spotted him at the funeral yesterday. Well, a lot of us thought he was dead. The Dow Jones industrial average closed yesterday at a record of 53,055.91 points. It was up 155.84. West Texas Intermediate, as of about 45 minutes ago, was at 69.09, and Brent crude oil is at $72.64 a barrel. All right. So I hope my cats aren't tearing up the house because I can hear something in the background. My wife's going to kill me. All right. So here we go with some announcements. On the 9th of July, that's the day after tomorrow, Pints and Politics, Cedar Park, at the All Good restaurant. It's at 601 East Whitestone Boulevard in Cedar Park. It starts at 6 p.m. All right. That's Pints and Politics, Cedar Park at the All Good. The next one is Pints and Politics at Area 254 on the 16th of July. It's at Area 254, which is in the old Kmart shopping center on South Fort Hood Street. Just look for the huge Raising Cane's sign out there. It's in that shopping center. Go in the front door, you take a right, and then you take a right, you go to the stairs, and go upstairs. All right. The next one is on the 20th of July, which is a Monday, Smoking Hot Conservatives over on 4110 South Clear Creek Road in Killeen. Starts at 6 p.m. It's at the Leaf Affair. It's a cigar shop where local conservatives like to smoke cigars. I'm not one of them. Smoke cigars, and they get together and they hang out and talk a little bit of politics. All right. And then the last one I'm going to announce is Corio County Republican Women's monthly meeting is on the 25th of July at 1802 Martin Luther King. That's Trinity Worship Center in Copper's Cove. They have a guest speaker, Dr. Mark Fulmer. He's the director of geopolitics, and he's going to be talking about geopolitical implications in a greater context of the red-green axis. That means, what do you call it? Islamism. All right. And then next Tuesday on the 14th of July is Copper's Cove Conservative Club. That's a group I helped found. We're going to meet in Copper's Cove at Giovanni's at 6 p.m. All right. All Republicans are invited to all those events. All right. So let's get going on the rest of our journey here. All right. Matter of fact, before we get going too far, hey, leave me some chats, guys. I got to get the raid ready, so I don't have to worry about it toward the end. There's my picture of Dan Bongino. It's called Game Changer. He's going to be talking about Trump accounts today. I'm going to do the same thing also. Okay, so I'm all set. All right, so first things first. This morning, 18 injured and 2 explosions in Damascus. Emmanuel Macron was in Damascus when the bombs blew up. One was in a trash can, and the other was in a parked car, right? Macron was not injured. No French people were injured. No one has claimed responsibility for the bombs attack, okay? And then Macron was in the presidential palace when it all happened. And then it's the same Syrian president that's going to be meeting with President Trump this time over in Turkey, okay? Which Turkey and Syria, their borders meet, all right? But he'll probably be flying. Alrighty, next. The president arrived in Ankara, Turkey, okay, on the other side of Syria, for a 2-day NATO summit. It'll be today and tomorrow. The goals of these is solidify stuff on Ukraine and funding for NATO. Okay, so President Trump has arrived in Turkey-held NATO summit with fresh frustration towards several European allies over their responses to U.S.-led operations against Iran, opening a new front of long-running campaign to pressure the alliance over burden sharing. 5% GDP, right? The summit takes place Tuesday and Wednesday in Ankara. It is expected to focus on defense spending, Ukraine, and long-term strategy against Russia. But it will bring Trump face-to-face with some of his biggest foes, including Spain, whose Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has called for the U.S. war in Iran illegal, absurd, and cruel. U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matthew Whitaker said Wednesday that Trump remains disappointed by allies that declined to allow U.S. forces to use military bases to overflight rights during the operation, as well as political statements criticizing the strikes. Just remember, France and Spain did the same thing when President Reagan bombed Libya back in 1986. We had to take F-111 aardvarks and fly them all the way around the Iberian Peninsula just to bomb Libya, and then fly all the way back, because we couldn't use carrier aircraft because we need heavier bombers, right? But yeah, Spain and France did the same thing, all right? The president has expressed disappointment in both a couple of our allies' unwillingness to support us during our bases, using our bases in their countries. Whitaker said And as importantly, he is also incredibly disappointed in political statements that came out around the time of Epic Fury. The disagreements are expected to loom over a summit where Trump was once again pressed allies to increase defense spending, while others raise broad questions of whether NATO members are prepared to back the United States during conflicts beyond the alliance's traditional focus to Europe. And then what about Afghanistan, right? Trump's frustration has been evidently publicly as well. Ahead of the summit, he said he was attending largely because of his relationship with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, while criticizing some NATO allies' defense spending and questioning their commitment to the alliance. Uh, they're members of the alliance, but they're not really. They're just there for in a popularity contest, right? Um, during the same appearance, he renewed criticism of Spain and NATO over their refusal to support U.S. operations. And then Whitaker said the operation might also highlighted disparities in military capabilities across the alliance, noting that while some NATO members possess exquisite capabilities, others lack the capacity to contribute meaningfully onto a large-scale U.S.-led military operation. The administration's frustration stems from a series of decisions by European allies during Operation Epic Fury. The UK initially declined to allow U.S. forces to launch against Iran from British bases, but later reversing course after Iran attacks escalated. Spain denied the use of its territory and airspace to combat operations, while Sanchez publicly criticized the U.S.-led campaign because they have a humongous Muslim population in Spain. All right. Uh, so that is what's going on now. People ask why the the U.S. defense budget is being proposed at $1.5 trillion because the NATO agreement is everyone spends 5% of their GDP on military spending, on defense spending. 1.5% for the United States is, 5% is $1.5 trillion. That's why. All right. Like I said earlier, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? If we're going to tell you to spend 5%, you should be willing to spend 5%. And also, you know, Great Britain has the largest defense budget out of all the European countries, and it's at $90 billion. That's all. And there's countries bigger than England that's doing the same thing for a whole lot less. Germany's military is abysmal. They could not fight a Boy Scout troop. Okay, that's how bad they're doing. All right, how y'all doing out there? What do we got on time? 8:18, 8:19. Hey, don't forget, leave a like and follow the podcast, please. Okay. And remember, there's a question in the comments section. So if you're just listening to me and you want to do something while you're listening to me, answer the comment question. Now I'm wearing this shirt today because I like wearing it. But besides that, yesterday was the initial day of the 5-day preliminary hearing on Tyler Robinson. He's the guy that killed Charlie Kirk on September 10th last year. I can't believe it's taking 5 days to do a preliminary hearing, but it is. So the family of Charlie Kirk issued a statement yesterday afternoon. They issued a statement ahead of them attending a pre-trial hearing Monday for the Utah man charged in the fatal shooting late last year of the conservative activist. Charlie was a beloved husband, son, brother, friend, and father. Oh, hold on just a second. So Luke was asking where the comment question was. So down below, not on the. Did the comment not stay? Yeah. So if you look under comments, under where everything is, the live chat buttons and stuff, you'll see a question. What are your thoughts on Plattner? I think the woman needs to go to the police and file charges. That's the comment question, Luke. Okay. Luke is a good friend of mine. He just chatted. See, yeah, ask questions in the chat, you get answers from James. Okay. Cool. Thanks for asking, Luke. I appreciate that. All right. You should see it. If you don't, let me know, okay? Um, where was that? Oh, yeah. So Charlie was a beloved husband, son, brother, friend, and father. Every court proceedings serves as a painful reminder of his death and the loss that has irrevocably impacted our lives and the lives of our children. The family said in the X post by Erica. Kirk's widow and other family members attended the hearing on Monday. Matter of fact, I think they said they're going to attend all 5 days. Um, so the first day in what is expected to be a week-long proceedings, and Utah prosecutors, while laying out their case against defendant Tyler Robinson, they will argue Robinson should stand trial for murder. The hearing in Salt Lake City is being live streamed. I watched some of it yesterday. Robinson turned himself in to police after the September 10th shooting. Prosecutors allege that he sent a text to his romantic partner, which is a guy, so Robinson is gay, and left a note saying that he has the opportunity to kill one of the nation's leading conservative voices, and I'm going to take it. That's what NBC reported. It said the 23-year-old has not entered a plea in the case and is charged with aggravated murder in connection with the shooting of Kirk. Was addressing a crowd of thousands of Utah State. I will always remember that day. I remember September 11th. I remember September 12th, and I remember November 5th. All right, those are the non-family. I remember this is our long month in our family because we lost our brother and mom and dad in the same month 10 years ago this month. But so September 11th, September 10th, and November 5th are the days. November 5th was the day at Fort Hood where the man that will not be named by me shot and killed, I believe, 13 people at Fort Hood, all right, including one of the soldiers in my company, all right. He's a disgrace to the Army, and he never shall be named from me, all right. But just remember, Erica Kirk is going through a lot. Her mom, his mom and dad, their entire families, and very close friends. Graham Allen, he has the Graham Allen show, which is on right now. Right, he's out at the preliminary hearing at the request of Erica Kirk, and he's doing half his show through him at the hotel where he's at, and then the other half is with Todd Spears, right? But stay here first. Go watch them later, all right? So the guy should plead guilty and not even have a trial and just get it over with, right? Next, yesterday, the president rang the bells for the stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, and the NASDAQ. As a matter of fact, the Texas Stock Exchange opened officially yesterday. but that's another story. So New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ opened yesterday, and President Trump rang the opening bells because yesterday was the first day of trading for the new Trump accounts for little kids. Matter of fact, Luke, you're eligible because y'all got that little baby at your home too. You go to trumpaccounts.gov, open it up, and the government will put $1,000 into that account, and you and your family members can keep putting money into it all the way up to your baby is 18 years old, and they can use it for school. They can use it opening a business, a trade school, keep saving it and convert it into a regular 401k and just give these kids a fighting chance. I told my daughter, um, last night and sent her the link and explained to her what the Trump accounts are, and because we would like to help Nathaniel grow up and have something after he graduates high school. That would be awesome to do. I give Nathaniel, $2 bills. Like I give him $1 for every year he's here, right? So this year he's turning 4, so I'm going to give him $2 bills, right? And I really hope his mom is saving them. So Rebecca, if you're hearing this, make sure you keep that money for him. See, Luke said he opened up a Trump account for his daughter. Awesome. That's great. Give these kids a fighting chance in life. That's all we need to do. If the rules are, you have to have been born during the Trump administration for the $1,000. Now, up to age 10, I believe it's up to age 10, you can open it up and they'll put 250 in it, plus whatever all of us awesome grandparents put in these accounts also, and to help these kids out, right? And then I heard SpaceX, their CEO, the person that's um, um, right under Elon Musk, said yesterday, I think I read it right, where SpaceX, where if you open up a Trump account and you have a kid that's 11 to 17, they can also get um, a 1 share of SpaceX stock and to get started with. So there are people out there that are willing to put forth the effort to give our kids a fighting chance in life because we're not saving as much money. Now, there's an article I might get to today where um, the president is looking to try to change our retirement system in the United States instead of just using Social Security, but in Australia, they take 12% off your paycheck and mandatorily put into a tax sponsored savings account, right? 12% is a lot of money to take. That's why you got to stay away from these socialistic type economies and stuff. But what if we took 2% or 3% and just built it up? Because pennies build up after time, like these Trump accounts. You put $1,000 in there, it's going to accrue interest. In the stock market, like yesterday, like I said earlier, 53,055 points, record. It's just going to keep going up because companies expand. Companies that don't succeed on the Dow Jones gets replaced. The Dow put, I forgot the company that came off, but Google is now a Dow stock. Go figure, one of the 30 Dow stocks, right? But that happens, right? All right, so let's keep going. Congratulations, Luke. That was pretty cool. I did not even, that was a whim of me asking you that, but that's cool. So the basis of my title of the podcast this morning is Senate Republicans, Are You That Weak? So if you listen to some of the news programs over the weekend, All right. James Comer, he's a congressman on the Oversight Committee. He's the chair of the Oversight Committee from Kentucky. He was on the big weekend show on Fox News, and they were interviewing him. They were talking about the Save America Act. And he is just like a lot of other Republicans, including myself, that are fed up with the Senate because, like Speaker Johnson said, he's passed it once. He's passed it twice. He's passed it 3 times. Usually third time's the charm when you count in threes, right? No, the Senate still won't bring up the Save America Act for a vote. And I apologize if the camera's shaking. I forgot. It's connected to my table here, and I'm kind of emphatic on my stuff. But so that's one of the things he said. So the speaker is going to try to pass it part of Reconciliation 3.0 and make it, or as of right now, a grant-based program to so he can put it in reconciliation because John Thune won't fire the parliamentarian that's been in power since Harry Reid was the majority leader in the Senate, which was before I retired from the Army. Go figure, right? And he won't take away 60 vote cloture in the Senate either, which Harry Reid started with his nuclear option of reducing areas where you didn't need a filibuster. But I don't understand about John Thune. I don't care what happens this November, whether we're in the minority or the majority. John Thune will not be the leader of the Republican Party when they have elections that come back up at the end of November. I'll be a monkey's uncle if he gets enough votes. He's screwed us over as a party in the Senate. President Trump could have got so much legislation through the Senate if he would have cooperated and worked with the president. But he's got that power problem where he won't just let go and do what's right. He just wants to hold on to that power, right? But so the people that you got to worry about, because he said he won't bring up the Save America Act because he doesn't have the votes in the Senate. So you got Mitch McConnell, it's a no vote. Mitch McConnell is probably on life support in the hospital right now, all right? I hope he's doing all right, and just resting, all right? But he's a no vote. Tom Tillis, well, Mitch McConnell's not running for re-election. Tom Tillis isn't running for re-election, and he's a no vote, right? Lisa Murkowski, she's not up for re-election, but she don't care because she thumbs her nose up at the president as much as possible. But her day is coming, right? She's a no vote. Susan Collins is running for re-election in Maine. Super moderate state, so she has to be careful what she does. But right now, I think she's a borderline. Next, you have Bill Cassidy. Bill Cassidy got beat in his primary. He's an endangered species, right? And John Cornyn, you can't tell if he's lying or telling the truth, but I suspect he's a no vote. And plus, he got beat in his primary here in Texas by Ken Paxton, who will win in November. I don't believe the hype about these polls. James Telefrico, he's going to go down in flames by about 10 points. All right. And then who's the other person? Oh, John Thune. John Thune, I told you, he's toast. And when he comes up for re-election, whether President Trump is in or out of office, he will probably fund the challenger to run against him in the primary and get him out of elected office. All right. That's the problem we're running up against right there. He says we don't have the votes, but did John Thune really try to change the minds of those senators, or is he just faking the funk and has that pride power problem and just won't let go? I'm telling you, if we don't get this through the Senate, he's going to go. And he won't be the Senate majority or the Senate minority leader at all, right? And I tell you what, They'll probably force him to resign from the Senate. And don't worry about it. The District of South Dakota, they only got 3 electoral votes. They got 2 senators and 1 congressman. It's all Republican, right? I don't know how much of a supermajority the senators that South Dakota has in their legislature, but it's deep red in that state. So we don't have to worry about. We will have a Republican go in there. All right. Matter of fact, he should just resign right now. Just alleviate all the pain. Just resign. John Cornyn resign, and the president can the governors of those states can appoint 2 new temporary senators, just like Oklahoma did. Kevin Stitt appointed Mr. Armstrong because Mark Wayne Mullen became the Department of Homeland Security secretary. All right, so I'm way out there on talking about this stuff. But yeah, he said House Oversight Chair James Comer blasted his counterparts in the Senate this weekend who declined to support the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Save America Act. That is where you have voter ID, you will prove upon registration to be a voter, to be an American citizen, and to severely limit mail-in ballots and no men and women sports. And there's a couple other things that they were talking about in there. That is easy. It's like an 85-15, 80-20 issue right there, especially with voter ID. It can get through. If you have to, you put them on record. You put them on record of a vote. That's the big thing, right? All right, next. Oyster Boy. I was talking about Oyster Boy earlier, Graham Plattner. All right. I'll tell you right now, it's hard to believe that those news reports are 100% accurate. And this is why. All right. Yeah, you know what? I hate the guy. I really dislike the man totally because his politics stink to high heaven. How he treats women is gross, disrespectful, and possibly illegal. All right. Remember, he is innocent. We are all innocent until proven guilty, no matter what. Right. The fact is that this Democrat waited until now to make these accusations against Graham Plattner, a communist, right? She said she agreed with his politics and didn't want to put this stuff on blast, all right? But I'm telling you, in 2021, if he raped her, right? If he sexually assaulted her, right now, it should still be open in the statute of limitations, right? She should go down to the police department, file charges on him, and then went to the press. But she didn't. The fact is, she went to Politico, a left-wing hack news site, and went to them. Why in the world would you, if someone sexually assaulted you, why would you go to the press and not go to the legal authorities? It doesn't make sense. And I put that in that comment on the comments. She should go to the police department first and then go to the press. So I put the odds, I would put them like 25% about if they're exactly true. Now, in the court of public opinion, he's guilty. I mean, just listening to the accusation and it's 24-hour nonstop press talking about the Oyster Boy. I call him Oyster Boy, but Oyster Boy has his right to be tried by a court of jurors, right, of his peers, and they're massacring him. I'm telling you, he should be in a position to file a defamation lawsuit if that's the way things are going. But he's probably out of politics. Probably by the end of this week, the Democrats, he needs to drop by the 13th of July in order for the Democrats to take to the 27th the points on, a Joe Biden scenario, right? He drops out, and then they appoint Kamala Harris to run in his stead, right? Same thing with Graham Plattner. Oh, I won the primary, but I'm going to drop out, and I'm going to let the state Democrat Party uh, find a replacement for me. Really? Really? You don't like the outcome, so you change the rules. My question to Republicans, right? Why are you massacring this guy? Why are you even talking about it as much as y'all do? Let him run his race and get beat soundly because he's fatally flawed, and let the voters decide, because he will get beat. He will get beat soundly, right? But you're giving him a chance to get out of it and to get someone in that didn't even run for the approval of Democrats in their state. So why would you do that in the first place? It don't make sense. But he's innocent until proven guilty. The lady should have went to, regardless if she agrees with his politics or not, because she said in Politico she agreed with his politics. But she should have went to the police first, not Politico, and filed charges on him, and then went to the press. All right. More to come on that one, right? And another elections thing. What's her name? McMorrow. She's running for the United States Senate um, in Michigan. She is suspending her campaign due to low polling numbers, right? Um, Well, now it's a two-person race. It's Haley Stevens, a Democrat. She is a moderate, right? And then she is going to be running against DSA person Abdul Sayed, um, and he's going. They're going to one. The winner of that race is going to run against Mike Rogers, right? The primary is 1 month from 3 days ago, August 4th. So what they're trying to do is the Democrats are trying to consolidate to make it possible for non-DSA candidates not to succeed in their primary races against Democrats. So Senator Slotkin, she only won 2 years ago in Michigan by 20,000 votes, which was 0.3%. So Michigan is very much up for the winner. Mike Rogers might win. He might win, and we'll have a Republican senator for the first time in decades, which would be great. Gary Peters won 6 years ago, and I tell you, Gary Peters should not have won that race. I remember that because I think is John Jones. He's running for governor right now, but he lost 6 years ago. But on election night, he had a good, huge lead over Gary Peters. And when we woke up the next morning, Gary Peters had won. You answer that one. He had a huge lead, just like Spencer Pratt. Huge lead, mail-in ballots. Oh, did I say we should have the Save America Act? That makes complete sense, right? Well, Gary Peters came out of nowhere on election night in 2020 and won. Left Mr. Jones holding the bag saying, I was going to be the winner. Where all these votes come from, right? All right. So there was something I was going to say a while ago, and I completely forgot what it was. Man. So I mentioned a while ago the president was looking at trying to recommend a change to the retirement system in the United States, right? So they were talking about Australia. Now, this is not a long article. I read this earlier this morning, right? Before the first podcast, right? Um, but it says President Trump's ongoing reforms to the American retirement system are getting inspiration from down under, right? Australia, that is. The Trump administration is working on an Australian style retirement savings plan for American workers. Suggestion the model could put people in much better shape by retirement age, the president said on Monday. I made reference to that Australia has a thing going that's going very good. It's really worked out very well, the president said in Rose Garden yesterday uh, while he was talking about the Trump accounts. We're looking at that very strongly. We're going to be taking that, and we're going to be maybe making it a little bit sharper, a little bit even better. Um, but we're going to do that. It's hard to understand New York. Okay, I'm sorry. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and other administrative officials were already working on the proposal, according to Trump, who described it as a companion effort to the Children's Investment Accounts launch under a sweeping tax and spending law. That would be more for grown-ups than opposed to children, the president said, uh, adding that the administration would discuss that deal with Congress and try very hard to get it done. Nothing's a done deal without Congress, people. Australia's retirement system is built around superannuation. Okay, that's a new word for me too. Uh, a mandatory savings program that requires employers. Okay, that requires employers to contribute 12% of ordinary earnings of a worker's ordinary earnings into a tax-favored retirement accounts managed largely by private funds, according to the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. Now, that is Australia. That's not the United States. Remember, Australia has about 25 million people, I believe, right? We have 340 million. All right. Uh, Trump first floated interest in the Australian model in December while announcing a $6.25 billion donation from Michael and Susan Dell for Trump accounts, saying at the time that the administration was studying the plan for working people. Um, what they're trying to do is come up with some type of plan to shore up Social Security. Something's got to be done, but something's better than nothing, right? I'm eligible for retirement in 2034, and that was the date that they put out the other day that Social Security is going to go belly up, right? Well, we'll see what the president can do. Maybe the Democrats will put Granny in a wheelchair and roll her off a cliff. Oh, wait a minute. That was a campaign commercial they ran a couple of decades ago. All right, next. Let's go to this one first. You might have heard a couple months ago that we pulled a whole armored combat brigade that was going to Poland for exercises, 9 months worth of exercises. Well, according to Poland, right, U.S. troops are set to return to Poland after initial pause on troop rotations, according to the Polish Ministry of Defense. The Pentagon in May halted a planned deployment of troops to the country amid long-standing disagreements between Washington and NATO partners over defense spending and ongoing Ukraine war. The defense minister, Władysław Koznak-Kamski, I hope I got that right, stated on Monday that the troops would arrive in Poland, saying the rotational presence of American troops in Poland, which was supposed to be a few weeks ago, is being resumed. It will continue, and in coming weeks, this process will be fully implemented. Uh, that's great. I know some of those soldiers, because they were coming from Fort Hood. I know some of those soldiers. I know they probably can't tell us if they're going back to Poland. One day they're here, next day they'll be gone, and that'll answer my questions, right? I spent 25 years in the Army and never expected that we would be sending troops to Poland. I mean, that is tremendous. I would say Poland is our staunchest ally in all of Europe. That I would probably agree with that. All right. Um, what time is it? 8:51. We're running out of time. Another piece of good news from the president is that he reported that he got a hold of the CEO of Walmart, right? And spoke with them, right? And convinced them that Walmart and Sam's Club would they slash their prices for American consumers. All right. I shop at Sam's Club and I shop at Walmart. Um, that is wow. I did not, because when you go into Sam's Club, you expect to spend a whole boatload of money because I can still buy just for me and my wife, but pretty much you want long-term spending because you'll buy in bulk there, right? Retail giants, Walmart and Sam's Club on Monday, which was yesterday, for you Democrats, Monday was yesterday, okay, announced sweeping summer discounts on thousands of everyday essentials and seasonal items, a move that quickly drew political attention after President Trump said the retailer acted at his administration's request. In a news release Monday, Walmart and Sam's Club said they are introducing nationwide price cuts to help families stretch their dollars during backyard barbecues, vacations, and weekly shopping trips. The savings span several categories, including groceries, household essentials, and outdoor living, toys, and apparel. We all need summer clothes, right? Soda prices fell steeply. A 24-pack of Coke products dropped from $9.97 from 14. Wow, that's a 30% drop. Okay, dropping to $9.97 from $14.97. 24-pack of Pepsi dropped from $13.97 to $9.97. Wow. Customers count on Walmart to deliver the value. That is a big drop in price. I don't drink soda, so man, it don't affect me. But summer customers count on Walmart to deliver the value they need every day, and summer is no exception. She's the executive vice president of Walmart. Uh, she also said that added Walmart is investing heavily in lowering costs on items customers shop for, most ranging from beef to fresh produce to grills, pools, and summer fashion. Meanwhile, Sam's Club is lowering prices on more than 250 items, targeting road trip snacks, grilling essentials, and summer entertaining favorites. Notable club discounts include membership marked bone-in chicken wings, marked down to $2 a pound from $2.88 a pound. Oh my goodness. I love wings. My wife not so much, but I love wings. Members mark beef hot dogs reduced to $10.86. Feel like a commercial. Oh, wait a minute. Reduced to $10.86 from. Oh, that part got clipped out. Oh my goodness. All right. Man, that's awesome. That is great news. That is great news. All right. What do we got on time? 8:55. The last thing I want to talk about, well, two more things. I'm going to hold off on that. Details here in Texas were released about the upcoming Trumpalooza, in Dallas on the midterm convention for Republicans. Um, so if you want to be a delegate to go um, to the midterm convention in Dallas, you can't just show up. They they have advertised this as a fundraiser for the Republican Party. And boy, I'm telling you, you better have some money to do this. All right. We, as common folk, we can watch it on TV unless you got the money. All right. So, as Republicans prepare for Donald Trump's historic midterm convention in Dallas, the Republican Party has begun offering participation packages ranging from $5,000 to $20,000 for attendees. The event has been promoted by the Republican National Committee at Trumpalooza. According to information distributed to county Republican leaders by the RPT chair, Ms. Randall, the September 9th and 10th gathering will be a ticketed fundraiser and rally, not a traditional national convention. Each state has been allocated a set number of seats by the RNC, which has allowing the state parties to allocate those as they see fit. In Texas, is GOP is offering three participation levels: honorary delegate at $20,000, honorary alternate delegate $15,000, and honorary guest coming in third place $5,000. But wait, there's more. According to promotional materials, the top package includes hotel accommodations, which is great. Excuse me. Most hotels in the Dallas area are going to cost you like $259 anyway, right? But so according to the top package includes hotel accommodations, on-floor seating, a Texas shirt, and a cowboy hat, and a convention credential. Applications must be received by next Tuesday, July 14th. That is something else, isn't it? I don't have $20,000. And plus, if I did, I still wouldn't be going, because if I could afford it, I would be taking my wife with me. So that means I would need $40,000, or my wife would probably shoot me dead if I went to a Trump convention without her. All right? Seriously. All right. Anything else on your stock exchange for Texas? Started trading yesterday. It's called TXSC if you're looking for places to stow money away for retirement stuff. All right. So it's 8:59. It's time now for Dan Bongino. So I will see y'all tomorrow morning with the morning brief at 6:30 Central, and then the JP8 report at 8 a.m. Central. So this is James Pierce with the JP8 report. I'm initiating the raid. I will catch you on the flip side. I'm out.